Minister of Financial Services and Good Governance, His Excellency Governor of the Central Bank, Chairman, Vice Chairman and Board Directors of the ATV, Chairman and CEO of the Financial Services Commission, the CEO of the Economic Development Board, distinguished guests, all protocols observed. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. This heavily quoted, famous African proverb needs no attribution, but it does epitomize what we seek here, what we want to achieve today. The launch of the report demystifies the role of Mauritius and substantiates our assertions of being a node par excellence for a prosperous Africa. But all in good time, you will gather from the speakers in today's event. So without further ado, I would like to call on stage my CEO, Mr. Ken Kunsami, for his introductory remarks.
Dr. the Honorable Ranganaden Padayachi, Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Development, the Honorable Mahen Kumar Siwatan, Minister of Financial Services, Good Governance, His Excellency Mr. Augustine Lam, Governor of the Bank of Mauritius, Chairman, Vice Chairman, members of the Board of Directors of EDB, Chairman and Chief Executive of the FSC, members of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. A very good afternoon to all of you. Let me at the outset thank you for your presence today for the launch of the Capital Economics Report entitled Facilitating Growth, Employment, Prosperity in Africa. I also extend a very special greetings to all our stakeholders joining us virtually, given that we unfortunately cannot have all of you physically present here with us today due to the prevailing sanitary conditions. I am told we have around 350 of our subscribers actually viewing this event live on Facebook. So greetings to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, this report has taken some time to be commissioned given the magnitude of raw data required and the scope of work needed to ensure the key messages are portrayed in an impartial manner. In fact, we have been working on the terms of reference, funding required, and case studies to be presented in this report since 2018. With the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic in March 2020, this has slowed down the finalization of the report. However, our expectation has been successfully met, and this report, which will be launched today, will assist us in getting the right message of our jurisdiction across. I take this opportunity here, ladies and gentlemen, to express my gratitude to my board and to our parent ministry for supporting this project, without whom this would not have materialized. I would also like to thank the Ministry of Financial Services and Good Governance for their kind assistance and collaboration in the completion of this report. Ladies and gentlemen, as you are aware, our financial services sector represents a core pillar of the Mauritian economy, and our jurisdiction is committed to the integrity of our financial system and of our domestic and international obligations. But we all know that our jurisdiction has been the subject of attacks, and our rebuttal strategy has focused mainly on the offering of Mauritius. The so-called Paradise Papers, the Mauritius Leaks, by the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, and claims and publications from other non-governmental organizations, NGOs such as Tax Justice Network and Oxfam International, reminds us of the various attacks that the Mauritius jurisdiction has been subject to. And ladies and gentlemen, against such a backdrop, impacting on the image of the jurisdiction, the EDB embarked on a three-pronged strategy to enhance the visibility and to rebuild the image of the Mauritius IFC. This includes, firstly, retaining the services of international PR firms like Lancement Capital and Wolf and MSL to enhance and maintain the brand awareness of the Mauritius IFC. The communication strategy adopted has been repair, build, and protect. Secondly, we have ensured visibility of the jurisdiction in key markets as well as key forums, either through roadshows, sponsorship or flagship conferences, webinars, and lately due to travel restrictions, done together with the ministry and public and private stakeholders. We have also fine-tuned our digital strategy, including the development of a Mauritius IFC website, social media platforms for the IFC. And thirdly, we have commissioned this independent research study. The report emphasizes on the significant and tangible role of the Mauritius IFC in stimulating Africa's economic development. Ladies and gentlemen, this report from Capital Economics, which is going to be launched today, will provide objective information to provide greater credibility for our IFC as an IFC of repute, substance and excellence. I will not go into the details of what the report provides, but I will just mention that the report provides key information about investment driven through Mauritius, the contribution that our IFC provides in terms of job creation and tax receipts across Africa. I think these are key elements which will help us and enhance in terms of our strategy moving forward. It's not just about the narrative about Mauritius is a jurisdiction of substance, but today, with the report, we will be in a position to forcefully say what Mauritius drives in terms of investment, what Mauritius provides in terms of job creation across the continent, and what Mauritius benefits the African continent. And this is very important as a compelling message across in terms of the substance that Mauritius as an IFC represents. So, ladies and gentlemen, the EDB pledged today its commitment to support, as always, to defend our jurisdiction for a rigorous PR communication and marketing strategy post delisting of Mauritius in the FATF and EU list, and will be all efforts in reinstilling confidence among the international investor community. I will not go much further, just to say that we are already launching through the Dubai Expo, the Mauritius Finance and Investment Week from the 5th to 9th of December, just as a way to actually promote Mauritius in terms of the international business community. And we will continue post-Dubai Expo to keep the momentum as from January of next year, and I will certainly hope that many of you will join us in these initiatives. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude with a heartfelt appreciation and gratitude to all the public and private sector stakeholders, notably the Bank of Mauritius, the Mauritius Revenue Authority, the Financial Services Commission, Statistics Mauritius, members of the FSCC for their support in the finalization of this report. I thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you.
Very good afternoon to you all. It gives me, I must say, great pleasure to address this August gathering today to witness the launch of a report assessing the role of Mauritius in Africa's growth journey. The report, ladies and gentlemen, augurs well in the context of the unflinching engagement of the Mauritius International Financial Center as a leading platform for trade, investments, and capital raising for the African region. Meticulously elaborated by the Capital Economics team, we have before us one of its kind economic research document, highly relevant and timely as this government takes purposeful strides in advancing the Mauritius for Africa agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, the Financial Services Consultative Council, which I preside, and which brings together the upper echelon of the private and public figures in the financial sector, agree under its image building agenda that there was an important work to be done in hoisting the Mauritius pride. At a time when we are seeking to raise our standing as an important economic hotspot for Africa, the FSCC gave its full support to the EDB for having commissioned this report. Today, we have in front of us a report that portrays revealing picture, which is backed by rock-solid facts and evidence of the role Mauritius is playing in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, I recall the words of Mr. Matthew Mandel, and I quote, "I'm struggling to understand how a $13 billion GDP economy is impoverishing a $2.3 trillion economy." End of quote. The launch of this report is a moment of truth for our jurisdiction. I'm confident that it will put to bed misperceptions and instead spotlight our jurisdiction in a proper perspective as a strong regional development partner and serving Africa well. Ladies and gentlemen, as I read through this report, I'm confident that its upshot will be good for the country, good for our investors, good for our operators, and good for our links with Africa. Let me briefly share what I see. Firstly, the report represents an invaluable resource as we look to our partners in Africa with a renewed determination to reinvigorate existing partnerships as well as develop new ones. Highlighting the fact that the Mauritian jurisdiction is key to driving quality foreign direct investments in the continent, the report will help strengthen ties with our African counterparts. After India, Africa is actually the second largest destination for investment from Mauritius, totaling $82 billion. And this $82 billion worth of investments mediated through Mauritius contributes to around $6 billion of tax revenue for Africa per year. As such, ladies and gentlemen, we have clear illustration that the estimate for investment into Africa is much larger than the official figures. That is $37 billion for FDI and $3 billion for foreign portfolio investment. The investment from Mauritius into Africa represents 9% of overall foreign investment into the continent, 13% of total reported investment in Central Africa, and at least 10% in each of East, West, and Southern Africa. The report clearly establishes that investment activity from Mauritius supports jobs, gross domestic product, and tax receipts in Africa. I'm confident that this publication will represent an invaluable tool to the media for reporting. Secondly, the report, authored by a reputable economic research company, provides credible and objective information. I'm sure my colleague, the Honourable Minister, will agree with me that the hallmark of a country's reputation is the integrity and transparency of its statistical system. And in this respect, our National Statistical Agency, Statistics Mauritius, is doing a formidable job in providing quality data. More quality data means better planning and better policies. In this respect, in addition to the present research project, there is more to come from my ministry. I'm pleased to announce that we shall launch by the end of next month the corporate governance scorecard for Mauritius, which will be used adherence of local companies with the Code of Corporate Governance, as well as international best practices. This initiative will put Mauritius amongst the few countries in the world to measure progress in corporate governance practices in a quantitative manner, and will provide a vital reference for investors. This brings me to my third point. The report is good for investors. The integrity and reliability of the research work will be an invaluable reference guide for investors and will go a long way in promoting trust and credibility in our jurisdiction. Fourth, the report is good for policymakers and regulators as it measures the impact of our policies and products. Again, it provides a useful reference for us to better understand where we are doing well and what more we can do in the pursuit of our Africa strategy. Fifth, the report will provide benchmarks for international standard setters and organizations involved in maintaining indicators and indices, as well as rating agencies. And last but not least, the report is good for you operators in the sector. The information conveyed will help you manage the expectations of existing and prospective clients. It will help you promote the Mauritius brand as a jurisdiction that can be trusted as a credible place to do business. While our double taxation and investment protection agreements help in improving returns and ensuring safety of investments, our move towards more substance matters a lot and can dictate the choice of location for investors. Furthermore, our compliance with the OECD's base erosion and profit shifting initiative ticks the right box. Our regulatory framework is relevant and meaningful. Ladies and gentlemen, insofar as our AML-CFT regime is concerned, and after having been satisfied with the implementation of the FATF action plan, the FATF assessors will be here in Mauritius next month from the 13th to 15th of September. This is also another step in making Mauritius a jurisdiction of repute. We are doing our best to improve friendliness for doing business. The recent implementation of the FSC1 platform is yet another example in that field. Furthermore, the implementation of the revisited financial sector blueprint recommendations is now under the responsibility of the Financial Services Consultative Council, and we are working towards the creation of new products to position ourselves as the business capital of Africa. We shall be introducing wealth management products such as insurance wrapper by the end of the year. Furthermore, my ministry has partnered with the Standard Chartered Bank for the implementation of the Sustainable Financing Framework, which will enable the issue of blue, green, and sustainable financial products to be listed on the local and international exchanges. I wish to thank the Governor of the Bank of Mauritius for having recently issued a guideline for the issue of sustainable bonds, which is a key step in implementing the framework. This framework will contribute in positioning Mauritius as a sustainable financing hub for Africa. Distinguished guests, Africa is on the move and is one of the fastest growing regions in the world. Its population is set to double by 2050, and its middle class is projected to grow to more than 1 billion consumers. For many investors around the world, this represents an unprecedented opportunity to tap into a booming consumer market where their investment can find long-term value. On the other hand, significant inflows are required to help meet the 350 billion USDs objective set by the African Union's Agenda 2063, as well as the realization of the Sustainable Development Goals. Wealth and prosperity can only be created with more trade and investment activities, and in this regard, Mauritius will certainly continue to play a decisive and impactful role. Ladies and gentlemen, the report depicts an incredible story of solidarity, brotherhood, and unity. The brave may forget facts and figures, but the heart will never forget the good story. So I invite each one of you to take cognizance of this report. You may be as pleasantly surprised as I was to read the extent of our involvement and positive influence in the growth and prosperity of Africa. I seize this opportunity to thank the team from Capital Economics for a job well done. I wish to thank also industry players without whose support this project would not have reached fruition. I would also wish to convey my appreciation to my permanent secretary for ably leading the administrative and technical careers of my ministry. I also wish to commend the EDB team for perfect coordination among all stakeholders to make this project a reality. I'm profoundly optimistic that together we will continue to play an important role in shaping the future and economic prosperity of Africa. Mauritius for Africa will continue to fulfill its promise of delivering on the Africa we want, envisioned in the African Union Commission's 2063 Agenda. With these words, I thank you for your kind attention.
We're pleased to address you today on the launch of the Capital Economics Report. It illustrates in no uncertain terms the contribution of our jurisdiction to Africa's economic development. Commissioned by the Economic Development Board with the collaboration of several stakeholders, the report showcases the Mauritius International Financial Center as a secure, cost-efficient, and highly compliant global investment hub. It shows the role of Mauritius as a driver of growth, employment, and prosperity across the African continent. The potential of the African continent is huge. By 2050, it is estimated that 1 in every 5 workers worldwide will be in Africa. The African Continental Free Trade Area, of which Mauritius is a signatory, opens up a $3 trillion market opportunity. Yet, there's a need for sustainable, innovative funding, the more so due to the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on the African economies. Indeed, according to IMF estimates, $425 billion is needed over the next 4 years to ensure a solid recovery from the pandemic. $7 trillion of additional investment is needed over the next decade for Africa to achieve the sustainable development goals. And the continent is faced with an infrastructural investment need of $6 trillion over the next 15 years, according to the Global Infrastructure Outlook. Ladies and gentlemen, this report shows that Mauritius IFC plays a unique role in driving some of these essential quality foreign direct investments and growth in the African continent. Investors notably look for potential and economic stability, ease of doing business, good governance, a capable labor force, and economic democracy. Mauritius is unique in being first in Africa in these major indexes. Let me give a few examples. 13th worldwide in the Ease of Doing Business Index. The only investment grade country in Africa besides Botswana. 20th worldwide in the Democracy Index and categorized as a full democracy. 23rd worldwide in the Global Peace Index. The Mauritius IFC offers sophisticated services and bespoke financial products to the international business community built upon international best practices. Had it not been for the Mauritian IFC, foreign direct investment into Africa would have been 41 billion USD lower, costing 2 million jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, the contribution of Mauritius as a platform of choice for cross-border investment in this part of the world is unequivocal. As I just mentioned, we have constantly been ranked first in Africa in numerous global rankings. And so has been our commitment to Africa. Ever since independence, Mauritius has established profound diplomatic and economic ties with mainland Africa. Mauritius is not only a founding member of the African Union, the Southern African Development Community, and the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, but we are also a signatory of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement for a unified African market. Combined with the recently signed Comprehensive Economic Cooperation and Partnership Agreement with India and the FTA with China, it provides investors using the Mauritius jurisdiction with a preferential access to half of the world population. These agreements result from the Prime Minister's vision to reinforce the position of Mauritius as an instrumental partner for quality investments in the region. Making international cooperation a key element of our strategy, we are also home to various regional capacity building institutions such as the African Leadership College, Africa South, Africa Training Institute, Regional Multidisciplinary Center of Excellence, and OECD Regional Center of Excellence, a project I personally spearheaded whilst being chairman of the Financial Services Commission, just like the CISNA Secretariat. Furthermore, we provide visa-free entry to nationals of most African countries, and we provide annual scholarships to African students to study in Mauritius. In my budget speech in June 2021, I announced the provision of 50 scholarships participates in its socio-economic development process. It is a catalyst for investment into the region. Indeed, the Capital Economic Study bears testimony to this. Let me highlight a few figures of the report. More than 80 billion USD of investment have been structured from Mauritius into Africa. Such FDI facilitated from Mauritius supports 4.2 million jobs in mainland Africa, representing 0.6% of all employment in Africa. Mainland Africa is the largest destination for investment from Mauritius outside of Asia, totaling 82 billion USD, of which 28 billion USD is from Europe, while 29 billion USD is intra-Africa investment. The 5 largest recipients of FDI include Côte d'Ivoire, South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, and Kenya. Activity related to investment mediated through Mauritius is equivalent to 30 billion USD of GDP in purchasing power parity terms. And finally, investment through the Mauritius IFC contributes to approximately 6 billion USD per annum in tax revenues for African governments, that is 2.5% of all tax revenue in Africa comes as a result of motion-based investment. This reminds me of what Nobel Prize winner Joseph Stiglitz said, I quote, "The only true and sustainable prosperity is shared prosperity." Ladies and gentlemen, this report provides a comprehensive analysis of the significant role that Mauritius plays in Africa's economic development through both quantitative and qualitative assessments. The strength of Mauritius comes from a history of compliance and excellence. Our financial services sector has a rich past dating back to the 17th century, when the island was used as a regional payments and settlements hub by traders from the West, the Middle East, Africa, India, and China. Today, the financial services sector is one of the most vibrant, resilient, and performing sectors of our economy, which has an average growth rate exceeding 5%. Despite the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, the financial services sector has proven to be resilient with a growth rate of 1.1% and GDP contribution of 13% for 2020. We also have a well-crafted roadmap for the sector as elaborated in the blueprint for financial services, which the Prime Minister announced in his budget speech in 2017. I'm happy to know that the execution is now well on track under the Blueprint Office of the Ministry of Financial Services and Good Governance. The blueprint positions Mauritius as a specialist regional IFC focused on Africa and India, with an aim to double its size by 2030. Ladies and gentlemen, in my last budget speech, I have announced a series of measures to make this vision a reality. Several legal amendments have been made to further strengthen the sustainability and effectiveness of our AML CFT system, including the AML CFT core group legal force under the FIAMA. In the last 18 months, with the commitment of the Prime Minister, and my colleague ministers, we have worked relentlessly to address the action points identified by the FATF. Indeed, at its June 2021 plenary, the FATF agreed that necessary measures have been taken to address the components of our action plan ahead of schedule. In the next few weeks, an on-site visit is expected to be held by the FATF to assess the implementation of the action plan. And this, as part of the exiting process, should lead to the withdrawal of Mauritius from the FATF list of jurisdiction under enhanced monitoring in the month of October 2021. We have also revamped the fund and asset manager scheme and introduced the variable capital company to attract more professional fund and asset managers to operate in and from Mauritius. Mauritius has also been able to attract a client base of high net worth individuals and families. Mauritius is today home to around 4,400 wealthy individuals compared to 2,600 a decade ago. To further attract such high-end individuals, we have extended incentives under the family office scheme. We also have the vision to further consolidate Mauritius as a regional innovation and fintech hub. The Bank of Mauritius will roll out a central bank digital currency and introduce very shortly a dedicated QR code at national level to facilitate digital payments. Furthermore, in view of strengthening our capital markets, the bank has released the National Guide on the Issuance of the Sustainable Bonds as announced in the 2020-2021 budget. This instrumental piece of work has been made possible by the contribution of many stakeholders and the support of international organizations, including the World Bank, the UNDP, and the EFD. We strongly believe that through the introduction of sustainable bonds, Mauritius will play an essential role in attracting capital to meet the funding needs of Africa. Finally, a new Bank of Mauritius bill and banking bill will be introduced in line with the best international standards. Ladies and gentlemen, government has been working tirelessly for a strong and resilient recovery from the COVID-19 crisis. We have been working closely with the private sector and all stakeholders to make this a reality. To this end, at the level of my ministry, we have launched the first public-private joint committee last month with representatives of different sectors of the economy. It will enable us to further develop strategies for the development of our economy and the motion IFC. Before I conclude, I would like to thank all stakeholders for their contribution in the preparation of this report and for their ongoing dedication to our country's economic progress. In line with the Prime Minister's vision, we will leave no stone unturned to uphold the position of Mauritius as an international financial center of choice for quality investment worldwide. I thank you for your attention.
Strategically located in the Indian Ocean at the crossroads of international investments, Mauritius has forged a strong reputation as a vibrant international financial center with 3 decades track record in cross-border investment and finance. However, despite the fact that Mauritius is known as a operators, management companies, law firms, insurance companies, and professional services firms. The main findings of the report focus on three fundamental pillars, notably Mauritius's value proposition, Mauritius's value to Africa, funding a more sustainable future. Mauritius offers an unparalleled, well-regulated and transparent platform for the international community. According to the report, Mauritius plays a strategic role in attracting investments and promoting prosperity for and across Africa. $82 billion of investments went from Mauritius to the continent. Europe is the source of $28 billion, while $29 billion is intra-Africa investment, which is mostly South African businesses and individuals investing in the rest of the continent. The survey has revealed vital data pertaining to investment destinations in the largest economies in each sub-region of Africa. The largest single beneficiary of investment from Mauritius is South Africa, with a stock of $26 billion of investment. However, Mauritius's relationship with Africa extends well beyond South Africa. Côte d'Ivoire, Botswana, Namibia, and Kenya figure among the top 5 largest recipients of FDI. Activity related to investment mediated through Mauritius is equivalent to $30 billion of GDP in purchasing power parity terms. Mauritius supports in the region of $6 billion per annum in tax revenues for African governments. Statistics used by Capital Economics are larger than official sources, as the study captures the entire global business sector in Mauritius, including all types of foreign investment. Although many people are familiar with the investment into Africa by sovereign wealth funds, non-profit organizations, and development finance institutes, over 3/4 of investment into the continent from Mauritius is provided by corporate clients. Investors use Mauritius to mediate investment into mainland Africa, which supports real economic activity, jobs, and infrastructure developments. Almost 3/5 of this investment is in the form of shareholdings, loans, or debt securities directly into corporate Africa. A further 1/4 is in the form of portfolio investments in shares of African businesses or debt securities. The report emphasizes the significant role of the Mauritius International Financial Center in Africa's economic development by highlighting 7 key messages. Mauritius continues to be an important and growing partner for investment into Africa, playing a role in stimulating growth and development. Investment activity in Mauritius supports jobs, gross domestic product, and tax receipts in Africa. Mauritius stimulates economic activity and tax revenues to increase FDI, while the scope for any tax leakage is limited. Mauritius is a real and balanced economy which has established itself as a diverse and stable place to do business. The Mauritius